I used the previous Commuter Backpack by Lander and thought it was one of the best designed, most underrated tech packs out there. So I was excited and a little skeptical when Lander updated the pack for 2024. And surprisingly, the pack somehow got even better after fixing some of my complaints I had with the last version. So today, I'll give an overview, talk about the things I liked, things I would change, and why if it ain't broke, sometimes just go ahead and fix it anyways. The Commuter Backpack is 25 liters and is designed as a daily tech pack with the same dimensions as the previous version, and that's kind of what I used it for. And I'll start with the biggest improvement from the previous version, the bottle pockets. The old version looked like this, which used some straps, and the pockets were just too shallow and small to fit anything larger than just a normal plastic bottle, and the straps helped a little bit for security, but not very much. And it was by far my biggest gripe with the bag, or just any bag. I'm not a fan of small bottle pockets. This 2024 version redesigned the pockets completely with the cinch design, and they're a lot larger now and can fit up to a 32-ounce hydro flask. And with the smaller bottle, I can use this cinch to tighten it a little bit. And when the pockets are empty, it can also lay completely flat against the sides if you just cinch it all the way. And this is probably the best adjustable bottle pocket I've ever used. I've just never seen this cinch design. I'd say over half the bags I've reviewed on this channel have bottle pockets that are too small, but I do understand why companies have to do that. If you make the pockets too large, then small bottles will just fall out. But Lander solved this problem so that bottles of all sizes can fit securely. Moving to the straps, they're decently padded and pretty stiff, but they were comfortable enough, pretty much same as the last version. Though I do think the bag itself and strap width could have been a little wider, and they did tend to cave in a little when I tightened the chest strap, which didn't affect the fit, but it was just a little distracting. Another big improvement from the last version was to the anchor points on the strap. So the anchor points go down each side and they're used to attach that removable chest strap. In the previous version's loops were just too large, like they were almost at the ends of the metal tips, so that the chest strap actually slipped out on me sometimes when I pulled it at an angle, and it just defeated the purpose of having a strap. But on this version, the loops are a lot smaller, so the anchor can't slip out anymore. And overall, it's a really nice looking chest strap, like it offers some style with the black metal hardware, but now it actually works. And this chest strap anchor system can also be used to attach this 1-liter Rambler bag to make it another quick access pocket on your chest, but I'll cover this little Rambler later in the video. The back panel is made of this bumpy foam overlaid with mesh, which allows a ton of airflow. And it also has some reflective patches, same as on the strap. On the side, there are these two small zip pockets, and the entire bag uses YKK zippers that are sealed against water. And these did come with zipper pulls, but I removed them to keep these pockets a little bit more hidden because I put my passport in there. Both pockets are flat and extend about 6 inches into the bag, and both of them are fleece lined to stop scratches from getting onto your phone or some other thing with the screen. And the top pocket has a small hole cutout that goes into the laptop pocket. And the point of this is to have a portable charger in here, charging a laptop in the main area. Or you could flip it and put a portable charger in the laptop sleeve, feeding into a phone in this small pocket. And I've used it here and there, but mostly it's just great for passports, travel docs, small cables, some other things that are flat and that I wanted to keep hidden. Turning the bag over, we have 2 grab handles on the top. The large looped handle is closer to the straps, and I've always appreciated this placement because it makes it easier to hang on the hooks in airport bathrooms. Too often, companies will put the handle towards the middle of the bag here, which sometimes makes the bag slip off the hook and onto the floor, and there's honestly nothing worse than a dirty airport bathroom. And the second handle is more subtle. I used it to maneuver the bag, but it's also flat enough to just go unnoticed. And as I said before, all zippers are YKK and all the openings are sealed, making them water resistant and mostly just cool to look at. I don't know, I think there's just something about the sealed zipper look that kind of makes the bag look more premium. And another change to this 2024 version is removing those bottom straps from the old version and replacing it with a reinforced rubber material, which I loved a lot more than the old straps. The material is waterproof, so I felt comfortable setting the bag down on wet or dirty floors just because I could wipe it off. And I always appreciate when bags do this. It's kind of funny. Lander's website markets this section as a non-skid pad so the backpack doesn't slide around. But to me, it makes more sense to pitch it as a protection against dirt or water. Like, where are people putting their bags where they're sliding away? And the last big change is to the color. This new version comes in black only, which looks really clean, but I kind of miss the old color. It was this grayish green that felt like the tech meets outdoor vibe that the bag was going for. I mean, 95% of the bags out there are black, so it was cool to see a unique color. And I actually think Lander should have kept both versions of the bag and called the black one the City Edition and the green one the Nature Edition or something. The black has a much cleaner look for the office, while the green one has those storage straps on the bottom and can fit a little bit more cargo for the outdoors, and it has that green color to match. And I haven't seen bag companies do something like that, but the sales model is proven to work. I mean, we see it in cars with different trim levels, like the Sport Edition, just slight variations on the same product. And overall, I think this commuter pack just looks really good. Not gonna lie, this tilted zipper helps the bag stand out without being too flashy, and I really love those small details. Like, I think this bag would look 20% less cool if the zipper was straight. And lastly, the zipper pulls and Lander patch on the front are reflective, and this patch section is actually reinforced, so you can attach a bike light or something. Okay, so let's open up the pack, and this first pocket has just a little bit of volume with these 3 small sleeves. I put chargers, a shirt, a mouse, a small notebook, stuff like that into this pocket. Though I do wish it was lighter colored fabric so I could see what was in there. On the top, there's a fleece-lined stash pocket, which is a must for me on my bags. I use this pocket so much for my small loose items, especially on airplanes, where the bag is at my feet and I just need to access the top. So I usually keep things like AirPods, chapstick, keys, wallets, or sunglasses. And here's the main pocket, which I liked, but I didn't love. It's just one large opening with a small sleeve for documents, and honestly nothing special. It's the same as last year. Again, I would have liked to have lighter material colors so I can see into it. But the reason I didn't love it is because this area is actually pretty small. So the overall bag is 25 liters, but this actual section feels a lot closer to like 17 liters. And that's because so much of the bag is taken up by the laptop section, which is arguably the best feature on this commuter backpack. Lander calls this laptop area the crash pad. It's just a beast of a pocket that's fleece-lined, water-resistant with the sealed zippers, and has a false bottom to protect from drops. And mostly it's just padded on both sides to be like 2 inches thick. I mean, this thing is as beefy as the last version. I haven't really seen a backpack with more laptop protection than this. We do get some heavy rain occasionally where I live, so the sealed zippers were also really clutch. And lastly, it has that cutout that I mentioned earlier that connects the laptop sleeve to the small hidden pocket on the front. And again, the idea is to have a battery pack in the small pocket that can be charging your laptop in the crash pad. So overall, I loved using this bag. And before I wrap up my thoughts, I also wanted to spend some time talking about the new 1 liter Rambler fanny pack. And this thing was so fun to use because it had a lot in common with the big backpack. The main feature on this is that same anchor system as the chest strap on the backpack. It's customizable, so I got to choose which side the buckle was on. I'm right-handed, so I put it on the right. Or it could be configured to be a little man purse like this. Or a couple of times I just took off the straps entirely and made this a tech pouch or a small toiletry bag. And like I mentioned before, I was able to thread the chest strap through this to make it a little chest pocket. Though I didn't really get to use it like this very much because I preferred this Rambler as a fanny pack, but I guess it could be used if someone wanted to live that double fanny pack life. I mean, I'm not at that level yet, but I'm sure someone is. Keeping a large stash pocket on your chest without having to take the pack off seems pretty useful, especially when you're hiking or something. And on the outside, it's the same zipper pulls, sealed zippers, material, same reinforced anchor point for a bike light as the big backpack. There's a front pocket that fits a passport, and the main compartment, which has a little bit of mesh and a key ring. And this fanny pack has more padding and structure than other ones I've used, and I actually really like that. Between here has multiple layers of material, and both of these panels actually have padding on it. So it was a little bulkier on my hip to carry, which was fine because it was definitely more protective. Okay, so final thoughts, and who is this Commuter Backpack for? I called the previous version of this bag one of the best designed, best value, and most underrated packs I've used. And this 2024 version somehow improved by fixing those small bottle pockets, the chest strap, and giving some protection against water on the bottom. And Lander did all this while keeping the price exactly the same as before. I mean, in a post-COVID world, that's just unheard of. I mean, every company has increased their prices. Patagonia's backpacks increased by $20 and also got worse. I think this Commuter Backpack is best used for school or the office as an everyday pack, especially if you live in a rainy area because of those sealed zippers and just the top tier laptop protection. But I did wish Lander offered a little bit more non-tech storage space in that main compartment, since so much of the volume is taken up by the laptop sleeve. And like I mentioned before, Lander, I think, could have kept both versions, the old and the new, and called it like a city and a nature version, because they're just different enough to justify selling both. And though the black color will probably sell better, the older green version is just a color that you can't get anywhere else. So I see a world where people would maybe buy both of these. And lastly, just kudos to Lander, who isn't even a bag company. I mean, I bet most of you haven't even heard of them. But after spending time with their bags, it just shows that great design and great value can really come from anywhere. Anyways, comment below if you want a response. I love to talk, and subscribe for more everyday gear videos. Thanks.